Plan backfires when bride asks bridesmaid not to wear makeup. First, she demanded her bridesmaid wears an ugly dress. Then she insisted on the same girl not getting her hair and makeup done alongside the wedding party. But she'd go a step too far when she told her not to wear any makeup for the big day. Weddings are usually among the most significant events in people's lives. If you ask women about their most beloved memories, weddings will be up there alongside birthdays, graduation, and childbirth. These weddings don't have to be theirs, but events they took part in either as guests or bridesmaids. The protagonist of this story was the latter at her best friend's wedding, an event that would sear itself into her mind forever. Amanda Hemingway was your everyday 23-year-old from Colorado looking to live her best life. A single child, Amanda had always felt alone in the world, especially after her parents divorced when she was 5. Growing up had been challenging for her, with her mom moving her from city to city because of work. But all this would soon change. Amanda was 10 when her mom assured her their next move would be the final one. They settled in Manitou Springs, Colorado, where Amanda met Jill, the girl who'd change her life forever. Like Amanda, Jill was raised by a single parent. This little detail bonded them immediately, and it wasn't long before the two became inseparable friends. As with many teens worldwide, growing older brought a slew of physical and mental changes. Puberty had hit, and the girls were quick to notice this. Soon enough, their interests morphed from Care Bears, Barbie dolls, and toy houses to which dress was the best for prom. The years passed, and the girls' friendship grew. But soon enough, it would all come crashing down. Amanda and Jill went to the same college where they pursued the same major. They did everything together as they'd done when they were kids. But one day, all this would change. Amanda was hanging out in their apartment when she got a call from Jill. Her best friend's high school sweetheart, whom she'd been dating for years, had asked her to marry him. So what was her answer? Of course, Jill said yes, unknowingly setting off the events of that fateful day. But before disaster reared its nasty head, the two girls met that evening to celebrate. They went out for drinks and invited the rest of their friends, having the time of their lives. They didn't know that the end would be bitter and full of bile. Amanda and Jill enjoyed the night, and Jill's fiancé came to take them home. Amanda was more than happy for Jill. She was her best friend, and she'd been there throughout Jill's relationship with the man of her dreams. Now that her best friend was stepping into the next phase of her life, she was glad to be a part of it. If only she knew what the future held. Jill shared the news with the rest of her family, and wedding preparations soon began taking shape. Her parents talked things over, sharing the plans with Jill. No one knew that these preparatory steps would create and increase the gap between Jill and Amanda's longtime friendship. It would be too late before they could do anything. The issues began with a simple visit to the bridal shop. Jill had already chosen her bridal crew, including Amanda, as the maid of honor. The girls visited the shop to get their dresses fitted, and everything was going great for everyone. But Jill asked something of Amanda that would start the issues between them. In a post, Amanda shared how happy she was among her best friend's bridal squad. She shared how the two had spent countless hours deciding on the best dress designs and fabrics to use. Jill had promised Amanda that she'd get to design her maid of honor dress as long as it was in line with their chosen color palette. But after a few minutes in the shop, she changed her mind. Amanda and Jill were in the shop ready to make the biggest one of the wedding's decisions, choosing the bride's dress. Of course, they had already called in advance and asked the shop to keep some designs for them. Jill called Amanda to the side as the attendant went to fetch the designs. She informed Amanda that she wouldn't be getting her choice of dress. Instead, Jill would choose for her. Of course, Amanda was taken aback by the abrupt change of plans. It wasn't like her best friend to make such radical changes without consultation or out of nowhere. But it was her wedding, and Amanda didn't mind it. She loved Jill to the moon and back and trusted that she'd choose something beautiful for her. She'd never been so wrong in her life. Jill ordered the dress for her best friend. But the item wasn't at all pretty or enthralling. It wasn't even fitting, to begin with. Amanda meant to protest, but Jill cut her off, stating that she'd look ravishing in the dress. Amanda's brows furrowed, although she forced her lips to curl. She didn't know if her friend was being honest or if this was some elaborate plan. Amanda tried the dress on, and sure enough, it looked like a potato sack on her. It was the wrong size, with the worst design in any wedding shop across the country. She tried to smile in the dress to show her best friend that she was okay with what was happening. But deep down, it hurt deeply. It would only get worse from there. Amanda didn't object to the dress, thinking that Jill was under a lot of pressure from being the bride and wanting everything to be perfect. They finished their dress shopping and left the premises. But on their way home, Jill said something that put Amanda on edge about the wedding ceremony. Something wasn't right. "I think this wedding will be the best," Jill said. "It needs to be perfect." Amanda smiled at everything her friend was saying, nodding. Jill said, "But I think we have too many bridesmaids." "What do you mean too many?" Amanda asked. All of the bridesmaids were either close family members or dear friends. There was no way Jill would cut them out of the wedding. "They're just too many," Jill said. "We need like a third of that number." "Why?" Amanda asked. She knew Jill came from a well-to-do family, so money couldn't be the problem. The following week, she learned that Jill cut off more than 3/3 of the wedding party, from flower girls to other bridesmaids. What remained scared Amanda to her core. The only people on Jill's list were Amanda and Jill's cousin, who was a close friend. As she'd done with the dress, Amanda tried not to overthink everything happening. She put herself in Jill's shoes, seeing the pressure that came with being the center of attention while simultaneously needing everything to be okay. But things got worse. Amanda woke up the next day to receive a text from Jill, who had been spending the night at home instead of their apartment. She expected it to be something good, like going cake tasting, only to receive the exact opposite. The text informed Amanda that she was no longer the maid of honor. After careful consideration, Jill decided to make her cousin the maid of honor. The news was a painful blow. Amanda couldn't believe what was happening. She tried to call Jill, but the call went straight to voicemail. How could her best friend do this to her? She took a quick shower, grabbed her coat, and took the first cab to Jill's place. Such matters weren't meant to be discussed over the phone but in person. Amanda arrived at Jill's house after half an hour. But she didn't find her best friend. She also realized people at the house were surprised to see her, as if Jill had told them they were no longer friends. Amanda said goodbye and left the house, heading back to campus. She thought Jill was her best friend, but it was becoming clear that she'd overestimated her importance in the girl's life. Amanda got home, had breakfast, and went to class. She loved Jill very much, but she wasn't going to let her friend overshadow her life with worry. But halfway through the day, Jill finally called back. She explained the decision to demote Amanda from the coveted maid of honor position, stating that her uncles demanded it. But Amanda could always tell when she was lying. But the problems had only started. Jill had also sized down the guest lists considerably, leaving only a handful of friends and family members. It seemed nobody was safe from her wrath. But as Amanda was still trying to figure out what was happening, she received another call from the bride, asking if she'd be okay with doing her hair and makeup. What was happening? Jill explained that since the wedding party was small, it'd be more economical if everybody did their own hair and makeup. But with the same breath, she informed Amanda that she and her maid of honor would be getting their hair done at the salon and then having a makeup artist come in to do their makeup the day of. Amanda didn't object, although this news hurt her. She decided to look on the bright side, knowing she hated other people touching her face and was pretty great at doing her makeup. She spent the night searching for hair and makeup ideas for the wedding to please her best friend. She shared them with Jill the following day, but her best friend's answer left her with her brows raised. "Well, if it's okay with you," began Jill. "I'd rather you not wear makeup to the wedding since you will look way better than me if you do." Amanda's mouth fell open. She laughed, thinking Jill was joking, But the bride said she was serious and added that Amanda could only wear mascara. This hurt a lot. But it also put a lot into perspective. For the longest while, even when they were kids, Jill had always been trying to put down Amanda. She'd put her in countless embarrassing situations to make herself look good. Back at the bridal shop, she'd insisted that Amanda's dress was great when in reality, it was a mess. She also left Amanda out of getting her hair and makeup done. And now she was asking her to go to a wedding without makeup? Amanda knew she had to get her revenge. As the wedding day loomed closer, Amanda assured Jill that everything would be fine. She already knew she couldn't be Jill's friend anymore. Still, she picked up her potato sack of a dress and agreed not to wear makeup as Jill instructed. The day finally came, and Amanda did everything accordingly. With her hair in a bun and no makeup, she hurried over to her best friend's wedding. Amanda showed up a second before the wedding started. Everyone was there, no doubt wondering where she was. They gasped as she ran down the aisle. Not only was she not wearing her makeup, but she wasn't wearing her dress either. Instead, she'd thrown on gray sweatpants and a sweater. With a bright smile, she approached the altar. Jill glared at her, making Amanda's smile widen. She'd wanted to make Amanda look bad. She got what she wished for.